Well, we've come to the main sorting office in Douglas. As you can hear behind me, the pickets are out for the postal workers, and Tony Pullinger is with us here. Obviously, a day that you will be telling me now you wouldn't want to see, but you have made definite plans that you were going to strike if you didn't get your deal sorted out, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's good spirit here because this sort of support. You can see how many people are here today. No one really wants to go on strike, but this sort of support is because of things that have built up over a period of time. And I think I want to, on behalf of all of our members, I want to apologise to the public that we're out on strike, but we really have to protest. And I just want to remind people what it is that we're in dispute about. That we got a business now, or a board, seemingly supported by Tynwald, who have debated issues that the other day that we're still in dispute about, where there was clearly misinformation and even lies, some people would say, on our wages. What's being proposed to us is to close our pension scheme to new entrants, is to bring in a two-tier workforce, so people doing the same job on a lot less money, and then effectively for postal workers to have a pay freeze really for over a decade on mark time while they catch up with this lower grade. The automation to do away with jobs, also going from 6 to 5 days, so worsening the service, who affects the most vulnerable, I think, really, but bringing it down from 6-day delivery to a 5-day delivery for letters. That would be another 25 redundancies here, so it's reducing headcount, it's worsening the terms and conditions. And it's a massive attack on working people. So
okay, now you're still having talks. I think this is still going on. So is there any sign of this being resolved, or are we all wasting our time a minute? And if so, what happens next?
Well, we was in talks yesterday. The sad thing is, and I want people to understand this, get past the whatever your opinion is about what we're doing. I came over here on Monday so that we could have 3 days of talks, because it's all so complicated, so there's many facets to this particular dispute. But the Isle of Man Post Office wouldn't meet us till yesterday, till after the Tynwald debate. So they obviously assumed that would in some way embolden their position, and they'd be in a stronger position. So we only had yesterday, which to try and get talks to call off this strike, which was always a heroic goal because there's too many issues to deal with. Yesterday afternoon, the Industrial Relations Officer for the Isle of Man came into the talks. We was asked last week by the Industrial Relations Officer if we had a problem, a union, with her coming in and facilitating the talks, and we said no. The Isle of Man Post Office refused that, and they didn't agree to that until late yesterday afternoon. So the ability to get into a position to not have this dispute was like I say, almost impossible. Well, we met them all day yesterday. There was movement from them at the latter part of the day yesterday evening, but it was sort of on the basis of giving you something with one hand and taking it away with another. It's nowhere near enough. We're meeting them again today, and it will continue. I mean, we've got 2 days of action planned, so whether tomorrow goes ahead or not, we'll have to see if something compelling comes out of today's talks. And then we'll have a period where we can then continue to have some dialogue. We've made our protest, we've made our point, but if not, I suggest this dispute will go into the new year.
And what sort of support have you had? I mean, as we've just been interviewing, 2 vans have just gone past, so I know you're not fully unionised in the sense that the whole post office isn't your union, but what support have you got from your members, do you know, here today?
Yeah, we are. I mean, massive, if you can see. I know it's dark. I mean, it's not the greatest of mornings. People could have said, I'll treat it as a sort of day's holiday, but they haven't. Yeah. They're here in force, because this is a genuine protest. Things are not right. And listen, to be honest, I've been a union official for over 30 years. You don't get votes like a 91% return and a 93% yes vote unless something is seriously wrong.
What did you make of the Tynwald debate? I mean, a lot of jaw-dropping moments, I thought, and I think everyone else commentating on it thought, for Julia Edge, and the support that appeared not to be there from members, yet everything was passed. So what do you think to it all? Well,
in all honesty, it seemed to me that you may well as not have had the debate. I think it was, it was a done deal in that sense. But it was interesting to me. I mean, to see it in operation, the Isle of Man government there, to see that in operation was interesting. I thought there were some very sensible things said. I think the amendments tabled were very sensible, especially the ones that were saying, this has all been done really in the wrong way. You've not included the right people. Step back. Let's have a proper conversation about the future of the post office. What was frustrating for me was there were senior people there making contributions that were clearly ill-informed or deliberately misleading, seemingly to win the debate. I mean, Julie Edge was saying postal workers are on an average of £33,000 a year. So if that's an average, that means some of them are on a lot more than that. It's clearly an untruth. It's not true.
And Rob Collins has come out this morning to make that point. Who's a member, well, yeah, supporting member, which is sort of...
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know traditionally how these things work, but I mean, Julie Edge's own department, most of the people in her department who supposedly have been working with her on building up this vision for the post office, they all opposed it because they said they haven't been involved, they haven't been, and neither have we. You know, and whether people like us or not, we are the recognised trade union, we represent these people. I personally have got over 30 years experience. You know, I look after Jersey, Guernsey, and of course the UK, which is massive. We know the problems our industry faces. We know it needs new solutions, but you've got to involve us and talk to us. This, though, has been used as an excuse. These things are being used as an excuse to just race to the bottom, down dial the terms and conditions, try and reduce the head count, just try and do everything on the cheap. That is not the answer.
Where do you go from here? What's next? More strike action? I mean, I know it's been a year, but are you giving dates and times and that sort of thing? Or?
We'll continue the talks. We will not take any more action before Christmas. Right. This is never about trying to mess up people's Christmases. It isn't about that at all. We never chose the timing of this dispute. And like I say, if there's no movement, we will continue to draft and try and put proposals and see how far we can get. But my instinct tells me this will go into the new year, unless there is a fundamental move today.
Do you think you can deal with Julie Edge and the current board? I mean, you've been very critical of them. Do you think that there has to be a change of direction, leadership there for a solution?
Well, the reason I'm critical, Paul, is because I've been coming over representing postal workers here for 18 years. I've been a trustee of the pension scheme for 18 years. They made me chairman of the finance committee of the pension scheme over here. I'm the longest serving trustee now on the board, the trustee board of the pension scheme here. So I've worked with a number of CEOs, I've worked with a number of chair people, I've worked with a number of board members. This is the worst I've seen. They don't want to talk to us. So we're in talks yesterday, and if it already wasn't difficult enough to try and get some movement to avoid a dispute, we have to keep leaving the room so that the people we're negotiating with can phone the board, presumably back here or maybe sitting in Tynwald, because that seems to be where the deals are being done, and phone Julie Edge to try and get some movement and then come back to us and then get on the phone again. Why don't those people just come to the building and do like adult people, sit across the table, eyeball to eyeball, negotiate and get an agreement that takes this forward and protects, not just makes this a viable operation, but protects a much valued, I believe, public service.